Hi, it's Andy with a Friday preview. And this week we're going to be looking at Romans chapter 5, verses 15 through 21, the end of chapter 5. Didn't spend much time in chapter 5 overall. This will be the third and final week, but you're going to see some repetition. You're going to see a lot of repetition in these verses. You're going to see a little bit of repetition in these verses compared to the three previous verses. What's Paul saying? Why is he saying it? Well, what he is saying is that Adam sinned. Why he's saying it is that Adam sinned. And because Adam sinned, we sin. Because Adam sinned, he died, we die. And, well, as last week kind of attested, that could be the end of the story. From our perspective, that really should be the end of the story. But if we go back a couple of weeks and we look at what God did in sending his son to die for the ungodly, verse 6, and to die for sinners, verse 8, well, that gives us hope. And that's what this week is. Again, Paul is very repetitious in his wording this week. And therefore, in my message, I'm planning on being somewhat repetitious in showing you some of the contrast, but there's so much overlap in those contrasts that are in these few verses. But what Paul is showing here is that while sin and death reign, well, sin came from Adam, but grace came from God. Sin may have power over us, but grace overcomes sin. So we can think of it as, sin is great, but grace is greater than sin. Adam may have faltered, but God is greater than Adam. And we have in one of the verses just a super word. There's one of the verses says that where sin increased where the law increased, sin increased, but because of grace, we have this super abounding. What a great word that is, that there is an abounding of grace that is so intense that it is super abounding. And it is that kind of grace that gives us life. And that's ultimately what Paul is talking about here, is that for those who believe, there is life, not death. The tyrant of sin, the tyrant of death that has reigned for so long, was defeated by one. And because of that one, we can now all have life. So I hope you'll join me on Sunday as we look at Romans chapter 5, verses 15 through 21.